Norman was stuck Spalding and back, bare bones broadcasting. I'd like to bring up identity. We wrote about this identity theft going on and so on. As far as I'm concerned, this place has identity theft. Or the way it's failed to experience description. Humans are failing to experience a description of their own environment, their own situation, themselves. Everything about this. It's got identity theft. Because what is going on is a radical effort at making sure that failure remains. So in that situation, identity theft, one of the issues I wanted to bring up, can't remember. Well, it didn't flow as much as what was on my mind when I called. This happened. I'm calling you, and I want you to call me, of course, or I'd like you to, so we can have a discussion publicly, but I'm calling you. That's what a broadcaster does. He calls you. And I'm calling you to identify something about your identity theft, especially your own mind, of yourself and your position with this place. And I had something more specific on my mind to point out how it tricks you. And I'm failing to be able to itemize that now. What I like to do is itemize aspects of humans falling into a trap and not aware of it. So as many that overhear me as may can possibly back up and remember more and escape the trap of misunderstanding up here, putting yourself in the wrong position and behaving that way. Especially in staff of employment, staff, especially in employment. The employment of this planet is a sewer and full of identity theft. Humans employed there that just have living identity theft, and they bring it. And to me, they ought to sit in a simulator. And as far as I'm concerned, I would butcher to pieces in employment. Enough where some staff members that get out of your car! Get out of your car! Some staff members agreed that it would be nice in employment if you had to sit in a simulator. If your head's full of this crap, you can't come into employment at all. You know how some people in employment live off failure of employment. Some people really, genuinely, sincerely would like to clean employment up. And sure wrestle. And here's how they want to clean it up. Just do their job. Just do their job. And some people really wreck them just doing their job. They do. You say, let's make jobs. Well, who lets anybody do their job? You've got a nightmare here of where the job is not allowed to get done because somebody else is doing their job in such a reckless way. They are exactly the same. They do this. The farmer and the cowboy will be friends. Yes, indeed. Astounding. The sitcom happening into failure of having just a contribution aware discussed. And believe me, there's some people that say, if we do that, this'll happen. If we do that, that'll happen. Bah! And they start from the house. Well, they're not allowed to do it at the house. Then they come to employment and spread it. And look what they built. Outdated. Is this outdated? How long this system's been around? They ought to be in rickshaw by now. Frequency and convenience. Rickshaw provided. Sooner or later, by the way, and 5 companies, 10. Actually, this company by now would have moved on. They weren't a broker and concession. They would broker the system. And individuals would privately own occupancy within the system and function within it. You'd rent the seat. And you'd own something of it. big time, and contribute. Only there would be such a frequency that, believe me, nobody would be using the gas pedal at this point. And the failure of that is division in those people's heads. Big time. That's the only thing. The main thing their job was and is to get advocacy within the citizenship to use the system. They're not doing that. Not only by persuasion and logic and reasoning with the citizenship, but by making the bond system work that supports them. They were the main commerce agent of the state. And they called the advocacy. They got the commerce. And then there was one other thing I wanted them to do that adds to the frequency and convenience that it takes place. And that has not happened. The department heads do not have any of it in their head at all, except one department. And it virtually has more of what has to happen in the mind of these individuals. I bow as a monarch. I'll tell you, I've matched wits with people at TriMet Service Department, the Marine Corps, the United States Army, a very strong-minded Army, very, very strong-minded. I was an enemy of the United States Army. I would shudder because they're lovely people, and you are in deadly danger. Know it all the time. When humans with a sense of humor are involved in the United States military, this planet needs to shudder. That's the only thing the Nazis failed to keep going was their sense of humor. Had they kept that going, you wouldn't have done to them what you did. Shame on you. They got disgusted. The United States military is not disgusted. You got problems. Want to bet? Anybody that threatens a nice place to live? And it has to come home. Only the example the United States military can set in the United States, associated with the citizens here, can make the rest of you look like green algae on a stagnant pond, except possibly China. I think he fully has the wit and citizenship and military to engage in citizenship and really take everything they are and turn up the screws of lovely. Because here you come and you're welcome here. I hope you bring a language that's native to this place only. You want native? I like the word genuine instead of native because there is no possibility of native anymore. We're all cross-bred, inbred. You're going to get native. Well, you could bring a language genuine to North America and the United States. And I wish the new ones would not speak Chinese at all. They would come here, introduce, and demand a new language here, and not a new one, a genuine one for here. I don't want to call it new. Put together all the languages and come up with better than vowel and consonant if it's possible, something simpler than that if it's possible. Most of the sounds are not very simple with this planet, and unless you learn them as a child, mimicking them, you ain't going to learn them. So something that can be mimicked by an adult that's simple, that says better, that has a clear picture with every aspect of its descriptional abilities, the language. And I think humans are fully capable of doing that right now. You're able to go to the moon, you're able to develop another language. And don't call it new. There's nothing new under the sun. Keep it very consistent with what's logical to you, which is far different than anything else going on. You can't use employees now to do it. Don't turn it on employees and say, now, come up with a new language, because that'll be the most convoluted pile of malarkey you ever saw. It's all built around what if. Well, that isn't a language. Languages aren't built about what if. No, they ain't. They're built around and when. Mm-hmm. And is. That's what. And when and is. Language. I'll return.